Welcome to another session. So yesterday we were talking about half-life period. Alright. So if you talk about a concept called average life period, okay? Average life period. Today we will discuss about this. Now tell me, half-life period, we have derived one expression T half is equal to 0.693 divided by lambda. That is, T half is dependent upon decay constant, and this decay constant is dependent upon the type of sample, uranium, plutonium, lead, etc. So does this mean that T half is 0.693 divided by lambda? That means full life will be how much? 0.693 into 2, isn't it? The answer is wrong. Let us understand this with a simple example. Let us say originally 1000 nuclei were there. From 1000 to 500, it took 1 second. Let us say 2 seconds it took. That means 500 to 250. It will also take 2 seconds. 250 to 125. It will take 2 seconds. Alright. So if T half is 2 seconds, it doesn't mean that you multiply 2 into 2, 4. The total span in which all this radioactive nucleus will decay is not 2 times of this. It should not be interpreted like that. Okay. So this is a very important point you should understand. So T half is equal to this means multiply with this 2. It doesn't become the total lifespan of all these nucleus, because it follows this pattern. Alright, why are we studying this average life period? Now you have a sample in which you have, let us say, 100 radioactive nuclei are there. So which is going to get decayed at what time? It is random. There is no pattern in that. What did I say? There are 100. There is a sample. This is a sample, radioactive sample, in which 100 nuclei are there. Out of this, which will start decaying, which will decay after? There is no pattern. It is just random. Okay. So in order to mathematically study this, we have a concept called average life period. We understand this with an example like this. Alright. So let us say there are 10 nuclei are there. Alright. And in, let us say, 2 seconds, 4 nuclei got decayed. 4 decayed. Remaining leftover, 6 will be the leftover. 4 got decayed. Alright. Now this decay happened in a very small interval of time. Let us say 2.0001 seconds. There is a gap in between, no? There is a small gap is there. Alright. So your counter starts like this: 0 second, 1 second, 2 second, and 2 second to 2 point this much duration. These many decayed. Alright. So can you say that the life of these 4 nuclei was how much? Was it not 4 into 2 seconds? When the clock was ticking, each survived for 2 seconds. So 4 are there, total 8 seconds. Can I say like this? So here what we have done here, we have taken a very small interval. Now call this time as T, this time as T plus dt, and this number as N0, the original number. Okay, so the life of and there is a small gap, so these many got decayed. So what was the rate of decay? Was it not dn by dt, isn't it? So can I say that t times dn, that is t 2 seconds into 4, 8, was the time duration of this dn numbers which survived? Okay, if you have understood this, the rest of the part is pure mathematics. What I am saying is, originally 10 nuclei were there. The clock started ticking 2 seconds. After 2 seconds was over, in this small gap 4 got decayed. Okay, so this is, if this time is, let us say t, let us call this time is t plus dt. Dt will be 2.00001 minus 2 seconds, that is dt time. So in dt time, dn numbers got decayed. How many? 4. Okay, so what was the time span for which they were surviving? They were surviving for 4 into 2 seconds, 8 seconds. So in general terms, it is t into dn. So if I want the total lifespan of all the nuclei, I should integrate this from 0 to infinity. So that means at infinity, what I am assuming is, let us say 100 nuclei were there at t is equal to 0. At t is equal to infinity, the nuclei left are 0. So all these are decaying. So after 1 second, maybe one. After 10 seconds, maybe the second one. Like that, if you go till infinity, all the nuclei, they will be decayed. So at t is equal to infinity, basically n is equal to 0, it will not be. At t is equal to 0, this will be your n0 value. So if you integrate all this, will you not get the total lifespan of all the nuclei? Now if you divide by the number of nuclei present at the beginning, this is what is your average time, average lifespan of all the nuclei. What is this term? Average lifespan of all nuclei. Okay, how did I do this? So first I have explained this t into dn, why it has come. You need to pause and go back and see what I have explained over here. So this is for this many. If I want the total, I need to integrate. Alright, so if I have to integrate from where to where, what is from 0 to infinity time, I have to integrate. So as per the radioactive decay law, you know that equation is e power minus lambda t. So after this, you have to do the mathematics part. Just take a screenshot. We will do the mathematics part. We are trying to get an expression for tau. So basically, we have to solve now t dn from 0 to infinity divided by n0 if you do. Now this is the average lifespan of all the nucleus. Now suppose you took a sample which has got 100 nuclei and all got decayed in 10 years. So what is the average lifespan of each nuclei? Means 10 years. This is the total lifespan of all the nuclei divided by 100. Now here this 100, this is n0. This numerator part is this. So when you solve this, actually I am not doing that integration part. Anyone interested can message me. I will solve it and tell you what is how you will solve it. Means you know that dn by dt with a negative sign is how much? This is r activity is equal to lambda n. Okay. So from here you can get the expression for dn, which you need to put over here. You need to solve that, and once you solve that, you get this. Average lifespan of the particles of the nuclei is 1 upon lambda. Okay, so this is a useful result for us. So our t half was how much? 0.693 by lambda. or this can also be written as 2.303 log of 2 divided by lambda when you are talking about with base 10. So this is our t half and this is our average lifespan. So while discussing about activity, we're discussing about R, which is nothing but minus dN by dt. This is rate of decay per unit time. Okay. So when you talk about like suppose there is a radioactive process in which n processes are happening. So the resultant activity will be basically R1 plus R2 plus etc. up to Rn. Okay. Individually you need to add them and you get the total activity. So let us now talk about the units. Okay. So we have a unit system for this. It is 1 becquerel. 1 becquerel. BECQERL. This is the unit we follow. 1 becquerel is, this is what? This is decay and this is time. So it is 1 decay per second. Similarly, you have got another unit called Rutherford, which is denoted by RT, and it is equal to 10 power 6 decay per second. Okay, 10 power 6 nuclei, if they are decaying per second, it is called 1 Rutherford. You have another unit called Curie, which is denoted by Ci, which is equal to 3.7 into 10 power 16 decay per second. Okay, 10 power 10, sorry. So 1 decay per second is becquerel. So you can replace here 1 Ci is equal to 3.7 into 10 power 10 becquerel. And this is 1 RD is equal to 10 power 6 becquerels. So these are the units we follow for, activity. This is radioactivity, how much decay is happening in how much time. Now can we find out this T half and decay constant graphically? Let us see that. I told you that if you plot a graph between log of n versus time, it is a straight line like this. Okay, so the initial number is log of n0, and let us say you take two particular values, specific values, it is log of n and log of n by 2. So there must be a gap. This is corresponding to some time t1, this is corresponding to some time t2. There is a gap. Now this gap is your t half, isn't it? N became n by 2, 100 became 50, or 50 became 25. So this gap is basically log 2. We are taking a log scale, and if you know this angle, let us say theta. Okay, so here what happens is we need to find this ordinate, some x, So why we are taking a straight line, on what basis? See, this equation, n is equal to n0 into e power minus lambda t. So take log both sides. So log n will be equal to log of n0 minus lambda t, right, minus lambda t log of e with base 10. So this will be 2.302303. Is it not resembling y is equal to mx plus c? It is resembling. Here the constant part is this, and this is this mx part. What type of slope is this? Negative slope. It's a straight line downward. So this m is this theta here, mathematically. Alright. So here you can get the value of t half you can write log 2 divided by t half is equal to tan theta. If you can know the slope, you can get the value of t half. How? T half is equal to log 2 multiplied by cot theta. Right? So this is how you can graphically calculate the value of t half. Now what is the value of t half basically? T half, I am writing here, t half was 2.303 log 2 divided by lambda. So lambda will be equal to 2.303 log 2 divided by t half, but t half is this. So here you are going to get cot theta multiplied by log of 2. This and this gone. 2.303 divided by cot theta, if you do, you will get the value of lambda. So this is how it is graphically determined. We are not going to wait for 10 power 9 years, isn't it? It's not possible. So mathematically we will find out the value of lambda or t half. So this is the mathematical explanation of how we actually find out the t half value or lambda value. Okay. Okay, let us discuss one more concept. Let us say 100 nuclei were there and 30 got decayed. Decayed you called, finished you called. That means 70 survived. 70 survived. So probability wise, if you talk about 70 by 100 is the probability of survival, and 30 upon 100 is the possibility of decay. What are you getting? Getting 1. So what is this? This is probability of survival plus probability of decay is equal to 1. If you know either of this value, you can calculate the other value. So mathematically, n was equal to n0 into e power minus lambda t. Now here, what is this n? Leftover nuclei. And what is n0? Original nuclei. So if I write n upon n0, what is the meaning of this? This is leftover divided by original number, isn't it? So these have actually survived. Leftover means what? They did not get decayed, isn't it? Leftover. So what is this value? This value is nothing but your P of S. P of S. In any question, probability of survival of the nuclei, they ask you how you will find out. PS is equal to n divided by n0. But what is n? It is n0 into e power minus lambda t divided by n0. So from here you are directly getting PS is equal to e power minus lambda t. If you know the value of PS, can't we find out the value of PD? So there is one more concept. In a particular radioactive process, the activity, let us say, is given as 5.4 into 10 power 7 Curie. Question is, express this as a Rutherford value. So how to do this? You know that 1 RD is equal to 10 power 6 BQ, and 1 Curie is equal to 3 into 10 to the power, it was 3.7 to be precise, isn't it? It is 3.7. It is 3.7 into 10 to the power of 10 BQ. So activity is given as this. So 5.4 into 10 to the power of 7 Ci will be equal to how many becquerels? 1 is this much, 1 unit is this much. These many units will be equal to this multiplied by this number, 10 power 10 BQ, right? So how much is it? Yeah. Now you want the value of 1 RD. So if you want to convert this into RD, so how to do that? You have to divide by we have to divide now. So first let us calculate this. So 5.4 into 3.7. This is 19.98. I am taking approximately 20 into 10 to the power of 17 BQ, right? So this many BQ. So 10 power 6 BQ corresponds to 1 RT. So this corresponds to how many RT? So 20 into 10 power 7, 17 divided by 10 power 6 BQ. These many RDs it will be. Rutherford's values will be. So your answer is 20 into 10 to the power of 13 RT. This value is equal to this. It's not a very big sum, you know, but you should know how to convert these inter units. So often in a question they will ask you in terms of Rutherford, or Curie is given and asked in terms of BQ. You should know these values. For illustrating that only I gave this simple example. Otherwise this example is very easy. Okay then.